Thank you for being with us tonight. I'm Terri Brewer.
And I'm Lynn Brooks. We've hit the 1-week mark since a woman was found dead inside her home in an exclusive Tuscaloosa neighborhood.
Since then, Kate Ragsdale has been laid to rest, but there is still no suspect in the case.
We're looking back at the events of the past week and building a timeline of how this case has unfolded in our top story at 5. It all started on the evening of Sunday, February 24th. Homicide investigators say that's when a neighbor found 73-year-old Kate Ragsdale dead inside her home. But investigators believe she had been there for a couple of days because of newspapers not being picked up. By Monday, investigators were ready with results from an autopsy. They say Ragsdale died from sharp force trauma. Through the investigation, neighbors have stayed mostly quiet, and investigators continue to look for clues.
The murder of Kate Ragsdale continues to be a high priority for this unit. We are still canvassing neighborhoods, speaking with residents, trying to gain as much information as we can about the victim and who frequents that area. We've done a considerable amount of work on the crime scene and crime scene processing, and we're also obtaining and viewing hours of video footage from the surrounding area.
Beyond the discovery of Ragsdale's body and the release of the autopsy results, another big step in the case was the release of a criminal profile on a possible suspect. That came Friday. Now a closer look at that profile created by a retired FBI profiler. He believes the suspect may be young, lives near the crime scene, was able to walk to and from the crime scene, and is familiar with that area. The profile also says the suspect showed an extreme lack of criminal sophistication and would likely be showing extreme behavioral changes following the crime. But investigators stress no one should be excluded as a suspect because of what that profile says. Kate Ragsdale was laid to rest Saturday in Tuscaloosa. If you know anything about this case, investigators would like to hear from you. You can call Crime Stoppers 205-752-STOP.
On your Health Watch, there may be a major breakthrough in the race to cure HIV, and it has happened close to Alabama. A Mississippi toddler is the first child to be functionally cured of HIV. Now, doctors say a functional cure is when the presence of the virus is so small, clinical tests cannot detect it in blood. The little girl was born in Mississippi to an HIV-positive mother who had no prenatal care. Within 30 hours of her birth, a pediatric HIV specialist gave the baby relatively high doses of 3 drugs. Researchers say this early intervention was key. Even after 8 to 10 months of no treatment, blood tests did not detect the virus.
But it really has huge implications because infants who are born HIV positive may not, in fact, face a lifetime of HIV infection and a lifetime of antiretroviral therapy. This may be something that we can cure. This might be applicable only to this population, but it really is a great optimistic boost to our efforts to find a cure for HIV.
Now, this is not the first documented case of an HIV cure. In 2007, an HIV-positive man battling leukemia and HIV was cured of both after he received a bone marrow transplant.
Now to Montgomery, where school safety is taking center stage at a summit with top state leaders. It's all part of the virtual Alabama School Safety Summit. Education, law enforcement, fire rescue, emergency management, and Homeland Security officials from across the state are coming together to help protect students. Organizers say the event will include developing effective emergency operation plans for schools using virtual Alabama and other school safety technologies and understanding behavior issues in schools. The Tuscaloosa County Sheriff's Office is recognizing those who've gone above and beyond the call of duty and made a difference in our community. Officers from the Tuscaloosa County Jail, sheriff's deputies, and deputy paramedics received awards during the ceremony today. Many deputies were honored for saving a life. Sheriff Ted Sexton says it's important that everyone is recognized for their hard work.
We want them to be able to vie for those types of awards throughout the year, and it's important to us that our people understand that they are recognized for their outstanding service.
I mean, this is what I do for a living, and this is, I mean, you know, I get an award, that's great, but this is what I do every day, day in and day out.
Coming up tonight on WVUA News at 6, we'll hear from one deputy who's getting national attention for his action during a robbery that left him injured.
Now to Dallas County, where Vice President Joe Biden paid a special visit to Selma, and Alabama's home team was there. Biden joined civil rights leaders for the bridge crossing jubilee this weekend. On March 7th, 48 years ago, demonstrators began a walk from Selma to the Capitol, but were stopped short crossing the Edmund Pettus Bridge. It became known as Bloody Sunday. At Sunday's events, Biden was presented a key to Selma, and he spoke about the sacrifices made for freedom and equality nearly 50 years ago.
You lost the battle that day, but you won the war. And in the process, you did something that can never be changed. You won the hearts and minds of your fellow citizens all across America.
The vice president said he was a senior in college then, and he apologized for not taking part in the march, calling it a regret he shares with many in his generation. A brand new crystal trophy has now taken its place at the University of Alabama.
The Crimson Tide's 2012 BCS Championship Trophy is home. Alabama's new trophy is at the Paul W. Bryant Museum. It joins the other two Bama has won in the last 3 years. Museum Director Ken Gaddy told WVUA they had to rearrange exhibits to make room for the newest trophy. Gaddy says they also have a Sportsmanship Award trophy that's presented to the winner of the Iron Bowl each year.